sirree. That's what we're looking for, y'all. You guys might see the boat in the background and think, oh, we're going fishing today. Well, you'd be wrong. We got to the ramp and she didn't want to kick up. So we had the bino harness and the rubber boots in the truck. So it's time to go do some scouting and we'll see if we can find anything useful for next year. By the way, check out this sunset. First bit of sign for the day. Pretty small little tree here, but could scratch both antlers at the same time. See, they get real down in here and then the top parts get up there. But yeah, it's good to see. And it's got some shots up here, so I mean, that's not a small rack. We love sign like that. But you can see they're burying their head down in here, and then they take it all the way up, and the top parts were hitting up in here. So I mean, it's a good 2 feet of movement. So hopefully we can find more similar to this. So that'd be sweet. Here is another one that we found. I don't know. If I had to guess, I guess it would be early season, and it was only hit once, maybe twice. But like all the frays are pretty much dropped, and they were under the leaves. So, and I guess it was hit pretty early on, and then not touched again. But there's a second one. It's good to see. Here we go, y'all. Here's another one. I hate how this iPhone camera doesn't like to focus on these, but you can see it's got some frails. But what I like to see is some crumbage sitting right near the top. So I bet this was hit pretty later in the season. And looking at the backside, you know, there's not tons on the backside, but it's good to see. Something you also see around here all over the place are these stinking things. I've been scared more than once while in the deer stand by one of those, thinking something big's coming up on me, just to find out it was one of these guys shuffling through. Yeah, I'm still here, bud. Everywhere out here. What did I tell y'all? Let's see if I can just zoom into this thing over here. Make you stop and think. Little critters. Whatever guy took his aggression out on this one, he really got after it. Tore the top right off of it. Let's see. You can see the tops where it was. And you can tell they hit it quite a bit because he's got it on all sides shaved. And the shavings are all on top of the ground. So this one was hit quite often. And I mean, he's got some sort of trash up top. some sort of length because these are chewed up at the top. So it's a good sign. Something a little more used than the last ones we've seen, so it's good. It's good to see. If I had to guess, same old boy hit this one, but he didn't hit it near as often just because it's only on one side here. So if I had to guess, same old boy hit this one because it's not 10 feet away, and it's about the same height just above where he was mainly scratching it, but it's pretty good on the back side of it. So I bet he only hit this once or twice. But what's good to see is this is way higher, and if his main beams are down here and this was his extras, that's a good sign. The back side of his antlers wrapping around and hitting that. It's a pretty tall tree, so it's pretty good. Yo, I've never seen anything like this. What in the world? I don't know if that was another hunter who found that and hung it, but look at that, just gnawed on. My goodness. I mean, that's a great deer around here though. Look at that. That's a beautiful 8-point rack, but that is so weird. So weird. I don't know if somebody whittled that out, what that is, but that's interesting. Just be hanging right here. It's so interesting. But there we go, first shot of the year. Guys, here's a really good example of a licking branch. So we got some scrapes right here. You can see like some of the fresh fall sitting on top of it. But I've got a track right in the middle of it. Some pretty good sized pellets. And then we've got branches right at, this is about chest height for myself. Chest to chin height, and that's, I mean, if you're a good sized buck, that's perfect height for you. So that's awesome. Just good notation. Okay, just a couple feet away from that licking branch, we got one that looks like it's been hit. It was a while ago because you can see it's starting to fix itself, but I mean, it got worked enough to get snapped off. Then just a little bit of ways, got an old one that has more scratches right next to it, but these are maybe even a whole season ago. But yeah, they didn't work. Came up to a nice little trail of spot that's been cleared out a little bit, and each one of them look like that on the very bottom. You got a couple different spots where they're just a little cleared out on the bottom, so might have just been only a one-time thing, or you'd come through and whack back and forth on these things. But it's also, oh, my fingers are in the way, but you can see it's been cleared out a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty old. It's not been touched in a while. Maybe a one-time deal. You can see a real light old footprint over there heading towards a little clearing, but right here you've got one that's been carved up a little bit, but it snapped off pretty quick, and so did this young one. You can see the little snap right there, but just been tuned up a little bit. Not tons of marks, but maybe a smaller buck, just a yearling guy, who knows, but definitely wasn't tuned up a whole bunch. Well, this is why you scan with your binos. It's a ways off from where I was walking, but saw something flash in my eyes, and or It was kind of brighter for a second. I said, that's abnormal, but you take the binos out and check it from several feet away before you even walk up to it. It's useful. It's a useful tool to have whenever you're out here doing this, just because then I can check up on something before I actually have to walk all the way over there. You know, don't get more ideal than this. You walk up and see a big old tree being rubbed on, pretty thick for a rubbing tree, and then you got a nice big old scrape, some medium-sized pellets, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's a very big deer, but I mean, those will do. And I just, while I'm sitting here, can already see all the way over there. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. Found the main scrape area, y'all. It's good for next year. Good for hunting the rut. It is quite fun when you can find stuff like this, where you just got a couple right here, little ones, and just literally in the trail line over. Got a little bit of a thicker guy, but haven't been touched a whole bunch. It's just fun to find groups of them, because right over there is the other ones. Pretty good time. Almost reverse tracking at this point. You can't really see them from here, but you see that white stick sticking up. So we got a rub over there. Then we got this nice little scrape under what looks to be just like a licking branch. And then we've got a historic rub. You can see this broken guy that is snapped off, but you can see the skin's been peeled at times in its existence. Y'all, we are in this dude's kitchen. Look at this. That one's a good one. It's a pretty thick one, and then right next to one that's just been absolutely whacked. That's got it on all sides. Completely barren, and the top's been taken off. We like to see those ones. Got an older one. You can see it's already trying to fix itself. But, I mean, problem was it just got the top knocked off it. So, I'm on him. Dude had a war with this one. Look at that. That's been just thrashed. Decided I'm just going to keep you guys on, kind of show you how I'm seeing these. It really is just kind of following the natural terrain where it wants to take you, because deer are lazy as just as much as we would be walking through here, so they're not going to take a hard path necessarily, but you just keep following it up, run into things just like this, just sitting there. Top's been taken off of it. But follow it down into the bedding area. We'll see if we can see more sheds down there, get an idea of what this guy looks like. But yeah, great outing so far. It's about putting in the miles. It's not going to be a super fun hike back, but it was worth it to come out. Turns out it was all right not being able to get to fish. If you listen carefully, well, no, you probably couldn't hear it from here, but they say you can maybe hear the lake, but I can't quite hear it either. Another thing you can follow is just like turned over leaves. It's hard to show in the camera, but things like this, where you just got pockets where they've been stepped in. Yeah, just walking several steps, doing circles as you walk. Something you'll be able to see is one of the reasons that this is got so much deer sign on it is it's a south-facing slope. What's awesome about a south-facing slope is it gets more sun in the back half of the year. Chopped up a little bit. But the best part about that is, oh y'all, I gotta stop what I'm talking. Look at what we found. Yes, sirree. That's what we're looking for, y'all. Man alive. That's a good one. I mean, look at how high in the back these reach up. Here's a, so if they're hitting it right here, it's got to be at least those, it's got to be at least that size. And I mean, that's a real good buck. So if they're hitting it right here and going to the top, you can see the top of the antlers hitting up there. That's a good buck, y'all. Whew. I would love to run into him. Man alive. But what I was trying to say is, if you are on one of these south-facing slopes, it gets more sun in the back end of the year when it's real cold outside. So that's always really good for the late season, for your after the rut time period. Your post-rut kind of time is really good to start targeting those south-facing slopes, because it means it's real cold outside and that area is going to get more sun. It's real good for looking for deer activity if you're ever hunting the late season, and that's also why we're down here tonight. Oh yeah, there you go. You can hear the lake now. A little feeder creek. Love to see it. So I just was walking down there, kind of following all the way down, and I walked right past this dude. This is literally where we just were a second ago, because we were just looking at that cedar rub up there, and I walked right on past it. That's why it's important to do circles and look in all directions, y'all. Just keep your head about you. I think this little feeder creek has been used because you can see little scuff marks where stuff's been kicking things downhill. So we'll see if we can see footprints in this creek bed down here. Yeah, you can tell all over the place. It also could be a good spot to go look for a shed. See if we can go see if we can find the antler from this guy. Especially with how much snow and rain we've been getting. If it did fall, it could have washed, gotten hung up on any of this stuff, so. Very beautiful. Man, you just gotta love the Ozarks. This is all shallower right here. Alright. I'm gonna grab my other hand so I don't, if I trip, I don't fall all the way in. So this is what I like to see. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but that's like a disturbance right here from some marks. It looks like, I can't really see any tracks, but it looks like lower area where they've walked through here. And then they go across here where it's real shallow. And over there, you can see it's kind of like a ravine area. And with some more laid down grass, we'll just walk across here. Always wear rubber boots in the Ozarks, y'all. But this is all more laid down, as you can tell. And it's a pretty defined trail where they've just walked through. And you wonder why we crossed. But I tell you, these dudes are everywhere. Everywhere. We're gonna make our way across this creek bed because seeing some pretty fresh sign down here. So we're gonna just keep walking along this and see a couple points where they might be crossing at. I'm gonna start keeping you guys up and running for a little bit. We'll just do a time lapse and walking through so you guys can follow along and see what I'm seeing. There we go. You know, little guy. Man, these whites are sticking out like a sore thumb. You can't really hardly see that, but man, there's your shavings right underneath it. I'm not seeing anything that makes me think these are particularly big size, but look, these just carved out deer paths along this creek bottom. Whacked on any of those. That's a little bit better. Higher scrapes up on the stem there. It's not a huge deer, but it'll grow. This one was obvious, right in the middle of the way. It's awesome, just awesome. All right. Problem with continuously recording, it makes it hard to get into the Onyx app. gotta stop recording and well, if that was something or not, but saw something back here that was curious. Nope. Nope. Nothing. All right. Speed up the play. Thing to make it look twice. Bleach stick. I'll tell you what, something that burns me right up is these are not allowed in the state of Missouri in public land, especially out of season and especially left there permanently. Just burns me in half. Follow the rules, folks. Follow the rules. Man, look at this. We got a rub here, a scrape over there, a scrape right there, a scrape over there, a scrape right there. You love to see that all in one little area. Just got a couple rubs sitting throughout. It's fantastic. It's a little hot spot. A little hot spot. Quick kind of no-brainer tip if you've ever done it before, but always bring your binos when shed hunting. It helps out immensely for things like this. You can eyeball things like that and say, is that a rub or is it a just a regular stick? So as you get out and scout this year, ensure you just have the right equipment on you. It'll save you a lot of time. Something that can feel almost like a no-brainer is when you're out scouting, go to the places that humans walk. Deer are lazy too. Anyone keeping a running total for us? Another one of these little dudes. Beautiful. Look at the Ozark Mountains. What's not to love?